What's up, guys? March Madness is back. We've waited nearly 2 years for this. I'm so excited. And we got the March Madness special for you. We got a whole panel of guests. It's going to be a great time, a lot of fun. So stay tuned. Hitting the Field starts now.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon' have to give me plaques. Step up in the building and I only bring the facts. When I make a highlight, they gon' replay, run it back, okay? Always locked in, I don't got time to lax. Saying he the best, he could take a lap. Batted 1,000 when you check the stats. Boy, is you ready? You ain't gotta ask.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Hitting the Field. And we got the March Madness special. I got a full panel of guests today. We got John, we got Tyler, we got Noah, we got Okelo. Gentlemen, how are you doing? John, we'll start with you.
I'm doing great. I don't know about you guys, so when the sports cancellations happened last year, this March Madness being canceled arguably hit me the hardest. So just to have it back, it may look a little bit different, but just to have it back at all is a huge win in my book.
For sure. And Tyler, how are you?
I'm good. And John nailed it right on the head. March Madness is my favorite holiday, or a close second to Christmas. So, this is the time of year you lock yourself in your room and you got 5 screen goings. What more can you ask? Just college basketball all day.
For sure, for sure. Noah, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, and I'm so happy that after a full year, March Madness is back, and I can't wait to fill out 50 different brackets.
Same. I think Tyler's already ahead of you. Tyler has like 20 done already. But Okelo, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's the dance, baby. It's the biggest time of the year, and I got on the go to celebrate it. Found this at my job yesterday. Had to celebrate it because North Carolina, they've always been my favorite team growing up in terms of this tournament. Seen them win twice. I'm hopeful that the third time's a charm and that they're ready to go.
For sure. And we're gonna jump right into it. Guys, I want to start in the South. You got Baylor as the 1 seed and Ohio State as the 2 seed. But Tyler, I want to start with you. What is like a game to watch in the first round in the South?
In the first round, I think some of the really close games are going to be Florida, Virginia Tech. I don't think either team is going to go super far in the tournament, but they're going to have a blockbuster game in the first round with this. I have Florida right now. Both teams kind of had their ups and downs this season, but that's kind of my one game in the first round that you have to watch, and especially those will be the last game that those 2 teams play.
For sure. And John, what's a game that you're going to be tuned into in the South region?
My game to watch is Purdue versus North Texas. Mean Green are in the tournament for the first time in a very long time. Don't remember the exact year. So I think a first round upset is in the realm of possibility, and I wouldn't be shocked if they upset the Boilermakers.
And what I like about the Mean Green is they play super, super slow. They slow you down, which is perfect for a Cinderella, because if they can slow Purdue down and make them uncomfortable, Purdue's a high-scoring team, but they're going to have a lot less possessions when they play North Texas. So I would not be shocked if that is an upset that could happen. Noah, what's a game that you're going to be watching in the South region?
Well, one of my favorite teams are, of course, the Florida Gators. So I'll also be watching that game closely, and it has been a roller coaster of a season for them with injuries and everything, just kind of holding them back. So it'll be exciting to see if they can just make it past the first round.
For sure. And Okelo, what's the game in the South?
You're muted, buddy.
Okelo, you're muted, dog.
I'm sorry. Y'all can hear me now?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
I was lifting up the jersey talking about my game of the week, which is North Carolina versus Wisconsin. I mean, a lot of people have been kind of hoping that the Badgers would be a kind of that Cinderella type team, maybe hopefully getting into the Elite 8 this year. North Carolina, they've had an up and down year with them. This is going to be, I think, one of those interesting early round matchups where we see 2 basketball powerhouses go at it. I'm hopeful that the Tar Heels will come out on top. I think it's going to be one of, if not the most exciting matchups, probably all tournament. Hopefully later on when we get into the later rounds. But I'm loving Tar Heels versus Badgers. You can't beat that. Can't beat UNC, Wisconsin, and this one's going to be a fight to the finish. I can tell you that.
For sure. That's definitely a matchup I was looking forward to. But you guys didn't say the matchup I'm gonna be I'm really excited for. I like points. I like offense. And Colgate and Arkansas, they both score a lot of points. That game is gonna be high scoring. That game's gonna be high scoring. There's gonna be no defense at all. I think Arkansas is gonna win, but I would not be shocked if the Patriot League champion Colgate comes out on top. Go toothpaste, you know what I'm saying? But Tyler, I want to come back to you. Who, if anybody in the South region is going to be a Cinderella, who's going to make that run?
I like your pick with Colgate. Like you said, those teams, that I think to make a big Cinderella run, you got to either be one of the two, either great defensively or great offensively. And Colgate is that. They're an exciting team to watch. Carolina, it's hard to call them a Cinderella. It's North Carolina. But as an 8 seed, I think they get past Wisconsin. They beat Baylor in the second round, then I think that region is open for them.
No, yeah, that like the Baylor has an interesting bracket because if like they get knocked out in the second round, which isn't out of the realm of possibility, UNC and Wisconsin are both really good. Like that bracket could go to anybody. But John, who to you is a Cinderella in the South?
Well, I've already mentioned North Texas, but I'll go with another one actually in the same pod, and that is Winthrop. They get a decent matchup against a Villanova team that I think is very vulnerable now without Colin Gillespie. They can make things happen, and I actually have them going to the Sweet 16.
Hey, John, I have the same pick coming out of the South. I also have Winthrop. DJ Burns, the Eagles are 23-1. I like that team. Villanova's vulnerable. If they get to the Sweet 16, I think they're going to beat North Texas to get to the Sweet 16. So I have a 12-13 matchup there. But no, I want to pass it to you. Who's going to make that Cinderella run?
I think it might be Virginia Tech. I think right now they are the most dangerous 10 seed in the tournament. And although I'm a huge Florida fan, I think Virginia Tech will make that upset in the first round. And I think they can somehow make their way to the Sweet 16.
That's an interesting pick. I'm not mad at it. I do think Virginia Tech is definitely dangerous right now. Okelo, who's your Sweet 16 in the South? And don't you say UNC because you can't call them a Cinderella.
I'm not going to say UNC. I was going to say Villanova because you all hit the targets. They lost their best point guard of the year. I mean, this has been a team that time and time again for the past couple of March Madnesses, and this is why they've won 2 of the last 4 championships. It's because they've found a way to get it done right on cue. It's always one player, one guy, and their coach always seems to draw up something that helps this team get over that peripheral hump. I mean, Villanova, they've been dancing for how long? So they know how to win, regardless of the class that comes in or even the new players that happen, even though they won't have their point guard. I think that the Wildcats people are disrespecting them just because they don't have their superstar. But I'm telling you, watch out, because when the Wildcats are hungry, they're hungry and they're going to pounce when the time is right.
I'm not mad at that pick. I don't know if I would call Villanova a Cinderella because they are a 5 seed, but I'm not mad at Okelo. I think another team to look out for is Utah State. I think they're a team that could either be out in the first round and get blown out by Texas Tech, or they could potentially make a run to the Sweet 16. Like, they're a weird team. They have a guy who wears number 44 for the Wendy's 4-for-4. So I love that. That's a cool story. But no, Utah State is definitely a team to look out for as well. But who's going to make it to the Final Four out of this region, Tyler?
I'm sticking with Baylor. Excuse me. I think that it's just they're just on a different level. Although they did lose in the Big 12 tournament, like I said it last week with you, sometimes you have to lose to win, and I think that they are still a very impressive team that is on another level from everyone else. They just don't really lack in any specific area. Like, they shoot the ball well, they defend. And I just think that they're going to be Ohio State. I do have the 1-2 matchup in the Elite Eight, but I think that Baylor tops Ohio State and gets to the Final Four.
John, how about you? Who's going to the Final Four?
Oh, I like that pick, Tyler, but I'm going to have to disagree and say Arkansas. not how often is it that the best team wins a championship? I would argue it's more often that a team that gets hot at the right time wins the championship. And I see Arkansas as that team. They had a little bit of a hiccup in the SEC tournament, losing to LSU. But aside from that, they've been rolling to end the year, and they're probably going to carry that momentum into the tournament. And I have them beating Baylor in the Elite Eight.
I like that pick because I feel like Arkansas could be that team, or they could lose in the first round of Colgate. They're a weird team that they are hot right now, but Colgate's also hot. So it's going to be that's an interesting first round matchup for sure for that reason. Noah, who's going to the Final Four in the South?
Now, see, I was debating between Arkansas and Baylor, but I just can't go against Baylor. They have been so hot in the Big 12, which is arguably one of the greatest conferences right now. They've beaten big names throughout the year, like Kansas and Texas. And although they did have a hiccup in the Big 12 tournament, I still think that they're going to go to the Final Four.
I like that. Okelo, don't say UNC. Who's going to the Final Four?
Look, I love UNC. I don't have that sky high expectations. One team that I have sky high expectations for that I feel has been getting overlooked because of the conference they play in, but still play damn good ball this year. I'm going with the Texas Tech Raiders, the team that a couple years ago was in the championship, lost to a very, very good Virginia team. I know it's been a huge gap from that championship game to now 2021. But I'm surprised nobody's talking about those pistol-firing Red Raiders in Lubbock, Texas. And I feel like this is their time to be able to get back not only that confidence, but also prove to America, like, hello, we were in the Final Four here too. We're just as good as Baylor and Texas Tech. They've been here before. They're one of the most experienced teams in the South region. And I feel like this is kind of like the story of the loser of the last Final Four gets back on top. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Red Raiders make some upsets and be able to get back to the Final Four to compete for the NCAA men's basketball championship.
What if I told you you're all wrong? It's going to be Ohio State. Ohio State's going to upset Baylor in the Elite Eight. Ohio State's going to get there. I like the Buckeyes. I don't know why. I'm probably going to be wrong. I'm normally wrong with these kind of things, but I like the Buckeyes. I got the Buckeyes going to the Final Four out of the South. But guys, stick with us. When we come back, we're going to get into the West.
Good morning, fellas, except for Andre.
KG in the building.
James Harden's a stat man.
Yeah, that is right, you're right.
He's the best scorer.
He has 120 straight points now. Bro,
120 straight points now. He doesn't back.
All right, let's do this. Let's get down to business, guys.
He's still got Aaron Gordon, PJ Tucker, and them boys. Come on now.
What about
Tom Brady is his son.
Facts.
I think it's kind of special though.
What? What are you talking about, man? Crazy, man.
Don't ever say that. This is your dad,
All right, what's up, guys? We are back, and we're going to be talking about the West region now. You got Gonzaga, the undefeated, as your 1 seed, and then you got Iowa as your 2 seed. I'm going to jump right in. We're going to go to John first. John, what's a game you're going to be looking out for in the first round?
I'm looking out for that 8-9 matchup between Oklahoma and Missouri. Both of them play in really tough conferences. Both of them have some good wins under the belt, but they've also lost to some suspect teams. So I think you're kind of looking at sort of a mirror match there.
That's definitely an interesting matchup to watch out for. They're very similar. They have been great and they have been bad. That's an interesting game to look out for sure. Tyler, what are you looking out for in the first round?
Absolutely, yeah. Oklahoma, Mizzou is going to be a great game. I'm actually going to jump over to the 6-11 USC versus either Wichita or Drake. I think that Drake beats Wichita handedly. I don't think that's a competition. Wichita, AAC regular season champions, but I still like Drake more. And then matching up against USC, I think Evan Mobley has been amazing. I think he's been really good this year. He's going to be a top 5 pick in the NBA draft next year. However, the supporting cast around him is where I kind of question them. I think that Drake beats USC in that 6-11. And I also think that Drake continues to win down the line, but we'll talk about that once we get into the second round.
For sure. And Okelo, what's a game you're looking out for in this region?
I think a sleeper one. I'm going to go another sleeper one, a different one. Oregon versus VCU. I think VCU, very quiet kind of school, but they always seem to show up in this time of year, as well as the regular season, going against the Oregon Ducks, who I think have done a phenomenal job and what has been surprisingly, in my opinion, a highly competitive Pac-12 this year. Between Colorado, between USC, between Arizona State. I think Oregon has showed out to still be a premier basketball program. And I think that this is going to be a matchup where it's going to be a toss-up. And I think that you love these type of matchups, even though Oregon seems like they're the favorite. A lot of people forget how good VCU can be at upsets in terms of first round and second round, just like in years past. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. And I think that it's going to be one of those where it's definitely going to leave you on the edge of the seats and you want to get your popcorn ready.
For sure. And that's also my pick as well, because you have one of the hottest teams in the country in Oregon facing a VCU team who, since they made that first Final Four run under Shaka Smart, they have always played great defense. They still play great defense now. They have an amazing defense. And I think the winner of this game might be able to make a little deep run into the tournament. But Noah, I want to kick it to you. What's a game you're looking out for?
Oregon VCU will be a great game, but a game I'm looking forward to is Kansas versus Eastern Washington, because I feel like everyone's counting out Kansas, but if we really look back at it, Kansas ended their year great. They had an overtime loss to Texas late in the season. They had a big win against Baylor, and I feel like everyone's counting them out. And they didn't have their star player against Oklahoma, and they were still able to build up a big lead and win that one. And even though they have players not traveling, I still think they can make a deep run in the tournament.
Interesting. The Kansas team is weird because I could see them making a deep run. I could also see them losing in the first round because they are going to be missing some players. And I don't think they can practice until Friday, which is, I think, the day before their game because of quarantine rules. That it's going to be a very interesting time for Kansas. But I'm going to go back to you, John. Who's your Cinderella?
Well, what a transition you had, because my team is also suffering, or my team to get upset is also suffering from COVID restrictions right now, and I think that'll cost them. So my Cinderella team is the Ohio Bobcats. Tony Bennett said that most of Virginia's roster is in quarantine and they can't even travel to Indy until Friday. And I think that might mess up their rhythm if they could even make it. And then Ohio will come in and knock them out early.
I like that pick. I'm not mad at it. They have until tomorrow night to decide if they can travel. And if they can't, Louisville slides in. Is that how it works, Tyler? Am I getting that correct?
Yeah, no, that's correct. Pretty much, yeah. If one of these lower tier teams, one of them isn't able to play due to COVID, then yes, it'll be Louisville will come in.
Okay.
But so I'll kind of go on with Ohio. I like that pick. I do. My sleeper is actually going to be Drake, but with Ohio, Jason Preston is the kind of guy that shows up to the big moment and he's going to put 40 on any team he plays. And that's what is going to have to happen, I think, to beat Virginia. And I think how defensively sound Virginia is, it won't happen. That's why I'm not taking them as my sleeper. And I'm going to go with Drake instead. Like I said, talked about it a little bit. I think that this might be the weakest region in the bracket. And it has Gonzaga, who I think is the national champion, and Iowa. So it's a really weird statement. Then you look throughout, you look at the 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm not big on all those teams, one of them being Kansas. And I think that Kansas does escape out of the first round, but I think that Drake beats them in the round of 32, putting Drake in the Sweet 16 as my sleeper. And then maybe even they could be Iowa. I don't think it'll happen. Just because of their size. They're kind of they got a lot of forwards that play a little bit of bully ball, but they won't be a match for Luka Garza.
I like that pick. I was high on Drake when they were undefeated. That's a fun team to watch. Noah, who's going to make a Cinderella run in the West?
I think I have to go for VCU. I think everyone's talking about how hot Oregon is and everything, which they are. But I also think VCU, after making a run previously, I think they can make a run again. I think they can go into the Sweet 16.
Hey, I like it. I lived in Virginia when they made that first magical run to the Final Four, and that was an awesome time to be in like 5th grade in Virginia. Okelo, who's your Cinderella?
This may be a topic of controversy, but I love stirring up the pot. UC Santa Barbara. I think that they
good pick, Okelo. Good pick. That's my pick
wow.
too.
Okay.
Good pick.
Okay.
That was a good pick.
Okay. I'm actually happy. I thought I was going to get some heat for this because I'm looking at UC Santa Barbara and their opportunity right now, where they are in the bracket. They have a chance. They've been, I think, a solid, quiet, under the radar team this year. And I'm just loving everything about it. Now, granted, I was going to say Drake a little bit because of that undefeated, but I didn't want to build off that because I'm still uncertain if Drake can beat Wichita State. Granted, Wichita State hasn't played their ball, but this is their time of year. But I'm telling you all right now, you're gonna need some money and you're gonna need some good luck. And I think UC Santa Barbara has been building themselves up for this moment. So give me UC Santa Barbara as that team that could make that surprise Cinderella run.
I like that because in the first round they get Creighton, and Creighton looked lost in the Big East championship game. Georgetown ran them, and then in the second round they could potentially get Virginia, who's dismantled by COVID, or Ohio, and I like them in both. And since the new year flipped, they've had 19 games in 2021, and in those 19 games they are 18-1. The Gauchos are hot. I like the Gauchos. I think they're going to get to the Sweet 16. But quickly, guys, I want like a sentence because I think we all have the same pick getting out of the West. Who's going to the Final Four in the West, John?
Well, you and I talked about this a little bit before the show. I've been conditioned to not pick the undefeated team going into the tournament to win the national championship. But I do think they make it to the Final Four. I have Gonzaga winning the Elite Eight matchup over Iowa, kind of chalky, aside from Ohio. But Gonzaga does escape, in my opinion.
For sure. And Tyler, who's coming out of the West?
Yeah, I'm chalking it up. I got Gonzaga, Iowa. I have Gonzaga going. It's chalk. It is.
Yeah. Noah, do you also have Gonzaga?
It's hard to go against them. I think Iowa will give them a run for their money, but in the end, I think just Gonzaga's too strong. So I do have them in the Final Four, but not winning the championship.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, we'll get to that later. Okay, Lo, who do you have?
Fate of the universe. The Martians have the death beam lasered on me. I'm telling you guys right now, y'all think Gonzaga. Mark Few has always done this every single year. It is a snake bit tease that he gives you guys every year. I'm going with the best player in college basketball this year, Luka Groza. I want Iowa to go to the Final Four this year.
Interesting. I hate that pick. It's not going to happen, but I'm also going Gonzaga. The Zags are just too good. But stay with us after this short break. We are going to go over the East region.
I'm in charge of the meeting this week. So you know what we're going to talk about? Basketball. The second thing we're going to talk about this week is basketball. Okay? And the third and last thing we're going to talk about is basketball.
Yeah. God. Yeah. It's ridiculous. I want to quit. Can I quit? Take that.
Look at the screen. What are we talking about this week?
Basketball.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're gonna jump right into it with the East region. This is, I think we all like just pre-recording this. We all kind of said this is the bracket that could go wrong for everybody. This is the chaos bracket. So Tyler, I want to start off with you. What is a game to watch in the first round?
Let's think back a couple of years to a certain Michigan State game when they're a 2 seed and they get upset by a 15 seed. That's what's going to happen right here. Alabama out early. I wasn't high on Alabama all year. I'm taking
Rick Pitino
taking Iona. Taking Iona. Isaiah Ross. So that the team has won 6 straight coming in. Isaiah Ross had I think it was 3 30-point games this season. I think that he comes in hot. And I think they get Bama out of there early. I think that's going to bust a lot of brackets. Like you said, this whole region, very wide open. But I think we see that 2-15 upset.
You think Rick Pitino's going to get him? I like it. I don't like it because that's
Trust
the Final Four
Pitino.
pick. But
Right.
yeah, shout out Rick Pitino. John, what's a game you're looking out for in this one?
There is one game that I have circled in this bracket, and that is BYU against either Michigan State or UCLA. You've got the two blue bloods on the opposite side. They're facing each other in the first four, and they're likely going to be underdogs to a really good BYU team that came within just minutes of knocking off Gonzaga and ruining their perfect season. So I like BYU to win that game and maybe go even further.
I'm not mad at that pick. Noah, what's a game you're looking out for in this one?
Definitely Georgetown versus Colorado. After seeing Georgetown just sweep the ACC to get there, they didn't even have a winning record coming into that tournament, and now look at them. They're in the tournament. Could not choose a better time to be more on fire, and I don't think they're just going to beat Colorado. I think they're beating them by double digits.
Wow, I like that. No, not Noah. We just talked to you. Okelo, what's a game you're looking out for?
As a co-host of Bets, it's my duty to make sure that people get their wins and enjoy a great game. Uconn versus Maryland is that game where I feel like it's going to be a points palooza. Again, two powerhouses, basketball's past going at it, duking each other out. Northeastern type game where I feel like it's going to be fun aplenty, down to the wire. And I got the Huskies winning that game. I think, UConn's men's program always seems like they get overlooked or overshadowed, but they always seem like they have that good squad. And who knows when the next Kemba Walker just pops up to their program and drops dimes on them again. So I'm looking at that matchup being a key and fun one to watch in this round in the East.
For sure. And my game that I'm going to be watching is Lsu and Saint Bonaventure. There's not this region, while chaotic, there's not many like first round matchups in this one that make you go, oh yes, like that's like I gotta watch that one. But Saint Bonnie, LSU, like the Bonnies are efficient on both ends of the floor. They're top 50 in offensive efficiency and defensive efficiency. If you want to call an 8-9 game an upset, I would not be shocked if the Bonnies do it. But yeah, that's my game. But for the Cinderella, I'll start off with this one. I got Georgetown. I don't think there's a team in the country hotter right now. I mean, they entered the conference tournament needing to win the whole thing just to finish 500. And then they went and did it. And they absolutely dismantled Creighton in the Big East title game. They have Colorado in round one. They should be playing Florida State in round two. I think they win both of those and get to the Sweet 16. I don't know if they're getting past that, but Georgetown's hot. I like them. That's your Cinderella pick. It's also the third 12 seed that I've picked to do this, but John, how about you? What's your Cinderella pick?
Well, I love that Georgetown pick, Alex. Yeah, I definitely have them beating Colorado, and Florida State is very vulnerable. I don't think they're even close to the team they had last year, so I have Georgetown doing that. But for the sake of originality, I'll throw in another team, and it's actually one from the same conference, and that's Uconn. Okelo hit it right on the head. I think Uconn is entering the tournament hot. They kind of fly under the radar, but I think they low-key could be the best team in the Big East at this moment.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I kind of thought Uconn would win the Big East tournament before it started. I thought it was them or Creighton, and then Georgetown got hot and won it. Tyler, who's your Cinderella in the East?
I already talked about Iona. I think Pitino's going to do it. I really do. I think that in the round of 32, I think UConn beats Maryland, and we're going to get that Isaiah Ross, James Bouknight matchup at point guard. Oh my, I can't wait for that. Two really explosive players that love to score the rock. I think that's going to be a huge matchup. I think that Iona does win, and I think that they get into the Sweet 16 to go on and lose to Texas. But I think that 15 seed rides it pretty far.
Wow, I'm not mad at it. Noah, who's your Cinderella pick?
It's hard to go against Georgetown. It really is, even though I just mentioned them. But I believe that they do have the talent to. I think they have the talent to make it to the Sweet 16. It would be definitely hard, but I think they do have what it takes. After seeing what they did in the Big East tournament.
I think that's a pick that a lot of people are starting to pick now because they got so hot. And for that, it scares me to pick them because it's like, okay, they're definitely going to disappoint us. But just something about them. They got hot at the right time, and that's all you really needed. March, like Okelo said in the last segment, if you get hot at the right time, you're good. Okelo, who's your Cinderella pick?
Man, y'all always take Georgetown, and I'm surprised at you, Alex, because Patrick Ewing's a Knicks legend. I'm surprised you don't have that much faith in the guy that built MSG and who's building Georgetown back into the powerhouse back when John Thompson was head coach. But we all said Georgetown, so I'm going to go with a team that I think could quietly make some noise, and that's Saint Bonaventure. Why? Well, I just think, again, another team that's just been getting hot at the right moment, a quiet team that has done their business. And, you know, what a better way to start than go against the LSU Tigers, pounced on them, losers of the SEC championship game to Bama. What a better way to pick the bones left of a tough Tiger carcass and be able to ride that momentum the rest of the way. So I got St. Bonaventure, but again, I wouldn't be surprised. Georgetown, Patrick Ewing restores back the Hoyas back to prominence, but St. Bonaventure, a definite team to watch out for, could make that Cinderella run.
I like it. And we're going to go pretty quickly here, but for the Final Four team, I got Alabama. Sorry, Tyler. If Iona beats Alabama, I'm going to cry. I'm going to blame you. I'm going to hate you forever. But yeah, that's how that works. John, who do you have?
Well, I mentioned this when we were talking about the South region, but I'm picking another team that got hot at the right time. And this one actually won their conference tournament. That's Texas. They beat a red hot Oklahoma State team. And I feel like they kind of might have stole their fire a little bit and might carry that to a Final Four bid and maybe even, hey, go further. Why not?
Hey, that's been Tyler's team all season long. So I'm assuming you have Texas too, Tyler.
I do. And like I called it from kind of the middle of the season. I didn't watch. I've never been a huge fan of Texas basketball. I just really haven't. And I right when I can't remember what the game was. It might have been their opening game of the season. I said, this is a team I'm going to like all year. They got the freshman stud. They got the big man. They got the offense. They have the scoring, the athleticism. They're an exciting team to watch. Texas is going to the Final Four.
Okelo, who you got?
I feel like we've all talked about momentum, but I'm talking about a team that's getting healthy in the right sense. So I got to shout out my friends Jared and Jack Jennings. I'm going Michigan, baby. I'm going Juwan Howard and his gang of the Maize and Blue. Going to do it for them this year. Michigan gets it done. Juwan Howard gets that national championship from the original Fab Five. I'm going Michigan, baby. I love them all. I love the Maize and Blue, and I think this is their year to get it. And a beginning, what I think will be, and I'm calling it right here on HTF, the beginning of the Michigan Wolverines dynasty.
Okay. You're okay. All right. Noah, who do you have?
I 100% agree. I also think Michigan is going all the way. They might not have been hot like Texas at the end of the year or Alabama, but this is still the team to look out for. And they have players just peaking at the right time, like Hunter, Eric Burks, are all stepping up for Michigan. And I think they have what it takes to make, honestly, I think they have what it takes to win the whole thing.
Go Blue.
I don't see it, but I'm not mad at y'all for saying it. But we're going to take another quick break, and it's going to be our last break of the show. When we come back, it's Final Four time. We're going to go over the last region, which is the Midwest. So stick with us.
Good morning, fellas, except for Andre.
KG in the building.
James Harden's a stat pack.
That is not, you're right.
He's the best scorer.
He has 120 straight points now.
Bro, 120 straight points now. He doesn't back.
All right, let's do this. Let's get down to business, guys.
He's still got Aaron Gordon, PJ Tucker, and them boys. Come on now.
What about
Tom Brady is the son.
Facts.
I think it's kind of special, though.
What? What are you talking about, man? Crazy, man.
Don't ever say that.
Why?
This is your dad.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. Last segment of the show. We got the Midwest. This is a fun region, too. We got Illinois as the 1 seed and Houston as the 2. We all know Tyler's a big Houston hater. But, Tyler, what is a first-round matchup you want to watch?
First round matchup. One thing I want to say before, I think that the selection committee did a pretty good job the fact that Oklahoma State is a 4 really irks me. They're way closer to a 2 than a 4. And especially when you have West Virginia as a 3, who Oklahoma State beat twice this season. But first round matchups, I think that Rutgers, Clemson, Clemson has kind of lost my faith. They kind of were hot early in the ACC. They ran the league a little bit. I've lost my faith in Clemson. I really have Clemson basketball. So I think that'll be a tight game. I still think Rutgers comes out on top in the end.
I like it. John, what's a game you're going to be watching first round?
I'm going with another 8-9 matchup, and that is between Loyola Chicago and Georgia Tech. You had Loyola with that magical run in 2018 that they unfortunately couldn't finish. Sister Jean, what a story there. And then you have Georgia Tech, who won the ACC tournament. I think they were predicted to finish one of the worst teams in the conference, and they proved everyone wrong and won the entire tournament. So they're getting hot at the right time. I've mentioned that a lot. But that game will be one of the best of the weekend, in my opinion.
For sure. And Okelo, what's a game you're going to be tuned into?
Battle of the Orange Crush between Tennessee and Oregon State. I think this is as fun ever. An Oregon State team that this year, unfortunately, Pac-12 tournament kind of nipped them in the bud. A really good, solid team. And then my pick to win the SEC, the Tennessee Volunteers. Fortunately, Alabama came and spoiled it. But I love the Volunteers and Oregon State in this one. I think Tennessee, they've always had solid teams in years past. I'm hopeful that this matchup won't disappoint me again. Tennessee always plays well in the first 2 rounds. So I'm looking forward to that matchup being something worth of interest and something where I think where the Volunteers could get that spark that they had that could have made them SEC champions.
For sure. I like that matchup. Noah, what's the game you're locked in on?
I feel like one game everyone's sleeping on is Syracuse versus San Diego State.
That's my pick.
A great game. You just saw Syracuse lost to Virginia off a buzzer beater, so you know that they are ready to get back out there, and I think they will get the win. But that will just be just a high-powered offensive game. It'll be a great game to watch.
For sure. And like I said, that's my pick. You got a top 10 defense in San Diego State and a really, really efficient offense in Syracuse. That's definitely going to be a tight one, one that I'm looking forward to. But let's jump to Cinderellas, and I'll kick this one off. I got America's team from a few years ago, Loyola Chicago. I really thought they would be like a 6 or a 7 seed, but they're an 8. And the Ramblers got it. They have a tough draw. Like they get Illinois in the second round if they win. But do I think they can beat Illinois? No. But if they do, I would not be shocked. And if they make another magical run, I'm with it. Give me Sister Jean. Give me the Ramblers. I like it. But John, how about you? Who's your Cinderella here?
In the year of COVID, when non-conference play is almost non-existent and so hard to evaluate these small conference schools, one of them stands out above the others, and that is San Diego State, in my opinion. I have them beating Syracuse in the first round, then upsetting West Virginia and Houston to make it all the way to the Elite Eight. They are the furthest I have a Cinderella team going. Hey, they're playing Syracuse in the first round, who is the master of pulling deep tournament runs out of nowhere. So maybe Syracuse could be the Cinderella.
They might. It's so weird calling Syracuse a Cinderella, but they are this year. They have the potential to be that. I was going to pick them, but I was like, I can't pick a blue blood to like be a Cinderella. But I'm not mad at it. Tyler, who you got?
I'm going back to the Scarlet Knights from the rack. Rutgers, baby. I think that they beat Houston in the second round. You know, I don't like Houston. I don't think they deserve to be a 2 seed, even after winning the conference championship. Don't think they deserve to be there. So I think Rutgers gets past Houston. I don't think they make it past West Virginia. Also with West Virginia, I don't think they deserve to make it to the Elite Eight. But I think they have a pretty easy path with the hardest competition they face being San Diego State, who I do like San Diego State. I could see them making a run and possibly getting all the way through to the Final Four. But yeah, I'm taking Rutgers to the Sweet 16.
I like it. That's definitely a hot take. I'm with it. That'd be cool because Rutgers kind of sucks at everything. To see them do good in something would be fun. Noah, who you got?
I know I'm probably going to get flamed for this one, but I got the Liberty Flames upsetting Oklahoma State. There's always that big, I think, that big upset in the tournament that happens in the first round. I think this will be the upset. I think Liberty, after seeing Liberty in their conference tournament, I think they will beat Oklahoma State. I know there's been so much hype about Oklahoma State after their, like deep run, but I think the Flames have got it.
That would hurt me because I hate that university. But Okelo, who you got?
The Cinderella story from the ACC champions, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. This has been a long time coming for them. I mean, to be honest, I wasn't around when Stephon Marbury was a Yellow Jacket, and they made that surprise run to the Final Four. Why not again? I mean, years difference. I feel like for Georgia Tech, they've just been a team that has caught that spark in the right moment. And what a better way to do it. Could they upset Illinois, the big dog? It's really hard, but we've seen crazier things have happened before in March Madness. We've seen a 16-team seed take down a number 1 seed. So why not? Why not? Let's make the house of Jenga fall down one more time. And I like the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets to be able to create that March Madness again. Heck, if they even need Stephon Marbury to come out on the court again and drop some dimes, I think they can do that.
Hey, that'd be cool, but I like my Ramblers. We're gonna jump right into our Final Fours now because it kind of works in with who's gonna win the Midwest. John, who is in your Final Four?
Well, I've already mentioned my previous 3 picks. That's Arkansas, Gonzaga, and Texas. And I've got the second 1 seed coming to the Final Four out of the Midwest, and that's Illinois. I think they end San Diego State's Cinderella run, and I actually have them winning it all. They've shown they can destroy really good teams. Like, look at their game against Michigan from a week and a half ago, 2 weeks. So, yeah.
I like it. Tyler, who's in your Final Four? Who's winning the chip?
So I'm not necessarily proud of this, and I don't think I'm not super confident in it, but it's always so tough with brackets. But I got the 3-1 seeds. I got Gonzaga, Baylor, Illinois, and then Texas in there as well. I think Texas gives Gonzaga a run for their money, but Gonzaga escapes. And then I think Illinois actually beats Baylor. And if there's a team that's going to win other than Gonzaga, I think it's Illinois. They're hot right now. They've had their ups and downs throughout the season, but for the most part, have been pretty consistent. They're super deep. They don't really lack anything out there on the court. So I have a one versus one matchup, which again, I'm not super proud of. Might change it 30 times before Friday or Saturday, but that's my national champion Gonzaga, and that's my Final Four and national championship matchup.
For sure. And okay, we're jumping to you. What's your Final Four? Who's in your final?
I said Michigan. I said Iowa. I said Texas Tech. And for the fourth and last part of the dance for it, paw up Houston Cougars, baby. I think that this is their time again. We're bringing it back to fly, slamma, jamma. I know what Tyler keeps saying. Oh, Houston this, Houston that. Let me tell you something. Houston has been start to finish the best team. They've been top 10 all year. Their offense is lethal. Their defense is unguardable, unstoppable. So give me the Houston Cougars representing H-Town, Texas, giving something bright to what has been a grim and dark time for sports in the city of Houston. So the Cougars are going to be the lightning rod that catapults them to the top. Give me the team in scarlet, red, and white to be able to get to the Final Four and be able to finish a long-awaited story that Phi Slamma Jamma could not finish.
ECU isn't in the tournament, so Houston might be able to get through. They don't gotta play ECU who they lost to this year, so we'll see.
Okay, well, you went on a nice little Houston rant, but who's in your final and who's winning it all?
Well, I mentioned all the four teams that are going to be in the final, but to win it all, like I said, going Michigan, baby, maize and blue to do it all. I like Iowa. I mean, Luka Groza, best player in the world, but this is Juwan Howard's time. This is probably the best Michigan team since that 2019-2018 season. I got no qualms that Juwan Howard is going to finish the mission that Michigan basketball fans have been waiting for a while, and that's to bring the Natty home to Ann Arbor. So go blue, and I'm ready to see Michigan and Juwan Howard finish the Fab Five chapter. All in closing, Michigan Wolverines, your 2021 national champions.
Okay, so Okelo, if Houston and Memphis make the final, make the national championship game, you can host hitting the field for the rest of the school year.
Bet.
It's not
I'll
gonna
take that, and then you can take my spot at bets if you want to. I'll take it.
Okay, because it's just not going to happen. I feel safe offering up my seat for that. Noah, who's in your Final Four? Who's in your national championship game?
Okay, so far I've taken Michigan, Baylor, Gonzaga, and I don't like taking all 4 number 1 seeds, and I'm not. I'm taking West Virginia.
I like it.
I know.
Mountaineers.
I know that's kind of a shocker to hear, but the Mountaineers have had a bumpy road to the tournament. But I still think they can make a deep run. I don't think they'll make it past the Final Four, but I do think they do have the team to make it to the Sweet 16, to the Elite Eight, and eventually to the Final Four, upsetting the teams. I know Illinois has played really well this year, but I don't know. I still think there's something slightly lacking with them, and I know I'll get a bunch of hate for that, but I do have Michigan, Baylor, Gonzaga, West Virginia, and Michigan winning it all. They may not have won their conference tournament, but they will win the whole thing.
I'm not mad
Mountaineers
at
to
it.
me every year have just been a tease. That's just how I feel. Every year I'm thinking this is their year, and then they lose somehow, some way, getting in the Sweet 16. So I just can't see it.
I feel like in most years, there's that one team that doesn't belong there in the Final Four, and everyone's wondering, how do they get there? That will be West Virginia.
Hey, I'm not mad at it. That'd be cool to see. But for me, I got the Zags, I got Bama, I got Ohio State, and then I got Illinois. But the Midwest is weird because I also could see Oklahoma State getting there. I think if one lower seed, if you want to call a 4 seed a lower seed, could get to the Final Four, I do think it's Oklahoma State. But I'm going to go with Illinois. And then for the national championship game, I got Gonzaga beating Illinois. I don't like picking an undefeated team because it hasn't happened since '76 with Indiana. But I think Indiana's going to get some company. I think the Zags are finally going to get over that hump and win a national championship. Because if they can't win a natty this year, they're never going to win a natty. That team is stacked. They're so much better than everybody.
I love Mark Few, but every year they do this, Alex. Just don't take the bait, man. Stop taking the bait. It's
I got
every
you.
year.
Okay, look, this team feels different. Normally, I'm a Gonzaga hater. I'm with you. I've never picked them to win a national title. I've never picked them to get to a Final Four. But this team's different, bro. This team is stacked. But that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you guys for joining me. It was a great show. We had a lot of fun. Any parting thoughts that anyone wants to say? We'll start with John.
I have just 4 words. Let there be madness.
Yes.
I'm with you. Tyler, how about you?
I agree with you. It's got to happen with Gonzaga. It's due. That team's built different, and go Tar Heels as always.
Noah, what's up?
I'm wearing a shirt right now. On the back, it's a March Madness shirt. On the back, it says "Let the madness begin," and that is all I've been waiting for 2 years for just a great tournament.
Awesome. Okay, Lo, go for
In
it.
the famous words of Michael Jordan and Zion Williamson, let's dance.
For sure. And for me, there's not going to be a rant today. I want everyone to go fill out brackets instead. But just enjoy these next 3 weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun. Games are starting on Thursday. We're going to have a lot of fun. And on Monday, I'm sure we'll be talking about this again. But thank you guys for watching. It's been fun. Stay tuned for the rest of the week. It's a great week. March Madness is back, baby. All right. See you guys.
Go Kansas.
Things gon' change when I really hit the field. Undefeated chance, man, you know what's the deal. Tryna find a kid, I'm in the field doing drills. Boy, you just a sucker, you ain't never keep it real. 3 rings in my hand, I'm a warrior to the max. When I hang it up, they gon'